people. Hope everyone is good. There's a lot happening at Leeds United this summer. A lot. It's going to be crazy. There's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes to make Leeds United a bigger and better club in terms of the infrastructure. Look at the recruitment. Jordan Miles, Greta Steinson, Nick Hammond all have different expert roles within their field to create this real ecosystem of recruitment. You know, being more modernised, having better positions, more people, more decisions, more of a process. And for me, when I've seen Rob Price is leaving, it made me think about how we're going to build the infrastructure in the medical department, the recovery, the performance, the science, whatever you want to call it, that department. How will that build? And I thought of the 49ers and Red Bull, how they work, and I did some research on individuals that they hire and their entire model and their entire base of performance, medicine, science, technology to enhance and develop players. And this is what I found. People, facilities, the technology, everything is in this video. Let me know what you guys think. Please like, just because this took ages. Please, I'm begging. But let's get into it. And I have to click clarify. I love this stuff. I love performance. This is what I do. This is what I want to get into, paying a lot of money. This is everything to me. This is what I want my career to be this. Okay? So this is not me saying there isn't worries. There's a lot of videos there about the worries of this infrastructure and Red Bull and what they've done. That is legitimate in that sense. That's happened to clubs. This is about the performance side of it, which I enjoy making and speaking about. Okay, let me just clarify that. I'm not paid by them or anyone says. I just love performance and I love the idea that Leeds United can be an elite club with an elite infrastructure. That's all. Okay, let's get into it. But yeah, I'm not going to waste your time, people. Let's get straight into it and talk about the people and the key themes about the people that I've noticed and why this makes Red Bull elite. Right. Talk about Rob Price real quick, and honestly, like, one thing I tell you about Rob Price, and there's a lot of people saying stuff, he's highly respected in the game. I can tell you that for a fact. I know that for a fact, based on people I've spoken to at university and stuff like that. He's very highly respected in the game, very highly respected. Look at his CV, for example. He's worked in the FA, he worked as head physiotherapist at Liverpool, FIFA, Leeds United, and now the same role. The head of medicine and performance, head of science and medical lead at Derby. But the thing is, and the branching out part and the building the infrastructure comes down to this. Rob Price's expertise predominantly is around football performance. Now, Red Bull takes, because of how big it is and the amount of resources it has, it can get people who have learned and understood other aspects of sports that are not part of football that they bring into football. And that is a key part of it. There is experts that have been in other sports and using other sports, particularly athletics, cycling, to develop football. And there's also experts in certain fields that have spent their entire life about one specific thing to create a team. And the first guy is Helge Reipinhoff, who is the same role. I know it's in German, but he's the same role as Rob Price was at Leeds United, RB Leipzig. He is the lead. He is the head. Now, what's key about this guy? Look at his experiences real quick. Athletics background. This guy's got experience in athletics. Different sport, a different idea. The thing about athletics is the people in athletics are the best at one thing. So there is so much research, so much data on one specific thing. So you can develop so much technology on one specific thing to be so precise about the information, right? It's so repetitive. And taking that and using that in football is key. Second guy here, Dr. Peter Schneider. Again, look at the specific role. Mental performance coach. Not a performance coach that does a bit of mentality and a bit of this, bit of that. A mental performance coach who specifically works in the mentality side of performance, really speaking and sitting with players and really learning and understanding and developing that understanding with the player personally, and trying to decide and figure out what the issue is and how to develop and make them more assumed. So when a young player is struggling, or even an old player is struggling with the pressure or the situation or life, is someone who has the expertise there to help these people and has a proven track record of doing that. That specific coach is such a big thing in football. Specific coaches are growing so big. Genuinely, they're growing hugely in football. It's massive. It's getting massive. And the other one here is Nicholas Hennek, who is FC Red Bull Salzburg. He is the, again, sports medicine physician, sports physiotherapist. And again, German athletics background. Are you starting to see the themes of performance and enhancing performance here? Specific role about a niche thing, of the mentality side of it, or a background of wider sports that they can bring their expertise and the more research in then sports into football. Football's very stubborn, people. Football takes a long time to develop new technologies, new things, because it's a very stubborn thing. Now these experts have been hired and used because of their expertise, bringing into football and using these new technologies, these new methods into football. This is a role that is key. Will Oster here for New York Red Bulls. Data scientist. Again, using every bit of data that has been done through all the testing Red Bull do and all the companies associated with Red Bull do to enhance this pool of data, this ridiculous pool of data, which can then help improve technology, develop technology, enhance performance, create so many things. It is so big, but this is what I mean. It's about correlating every sports data and doing all these experiments and using this technology, doing these fitness tests, using the best facilities, and developing this data which can help enhance performance, enhance development of players, giving you that edge, recovery, longevity. It's so key, and it can really help in football. And we're behind in that, especially in the Premier League. Obviously, you've got experts in many different fields in the Premier League, some of the best in the world. But Red Bull itself have its own unique state-of-the-art, performance aspect of them that they could bring to Leeds, and that's the side that I really want to see, and I really want to see the club and everything around indulging, because that's the bit that excites me, because that's the bit that they are genuinely world-class at. Probably one of the best, if not the best, group for that stuff. And a guy who I've read into who's very impressive is this guy here, Robert Percy, Dr. Robert Percy. By the way, he is the team doctor at RB Leipzig. Look at the data. He speaks about here where he's worked. Football, dancers, rowing, boxing, riding, basketball, hockey. These are all sports which he's established and understanding and experimenting. He opened a company doing this, like the founding member of UKE Athleticum, where they obviously did medicine and stuff like that and helped these researched athletes and worked on athletes from these sports here. So again, and there's more examples down here, this guy works as this expertise from other sports and the general aspect of sports, bringing it to football to get the best results in football. That's one side of it. The next side is the technology they develop. The technology, the tests, the fitness tests they can do based on the technology, based on the money they have. They can fund anything, and they do. And they do tests endlessly on athletes to enhance performance. It's what it's all about. Altitude training is one of them. They did a test here, which we talk about. The purpose of the Red Bull Project Endurance version 3.0 was to investigate how muscle fibers, both slow and fast twitch, and even the brain are impacted by altitude to provide insights and potentially new training methodologies. Like I said, they don't leave any stone unturned. They look at everything. That's just one example. This man right here, Max Verstappen, world champion many, many times in Formula 1, absolutely killing it. And this guy right here is Bradley Skins, I apologise. And he's basically his human performance coach. And these shorts that he got Max Verstappen using. And it's new technology that's fairly new anyway. And it's been obviously funded by Red Bull and used by other companies. But then Red Bull have bought into it and given Max these shorts. And he talks about them and how they help and things like that. People, I'm not going to bore you with the details because you don't care about that. To put it simply, the shorts help recovery. They reduce recovery time. As is said here, subjectively, it always feels great. And when we feel a lot lighter, which enables us to then train again, we are not having to take a couple of days off after a race. We can take one day off, as we have used BFR, which is the shorts, the technology within the shorts and the thing, as a passive recovery tool. You're telling me that technology if it isn't already, can't be enhanced and used in football. Of course it can. And this is the investment into companies that develop these things that Red Bull bring. These little things here. Do some recovery in football in the championship. Yes, please. In this interview here, this is Xavi Simons. I've obviously know a player for RB Leipzig. He probably won't be there for long. He's on loan. Here he's talking about Dr. Peter Schneider again. Remember that guy? Talking about high performance, latest mindset in the podcast, talking about how this specific role has really helped him develop as a person, as a player, using the mental side of the game, using those extra people to be there and help, to be a specific expert in a field can really help develop a player mentally. It's all about that mental side of it. The thing a lot of young players struggle with and need that assistance with. Xavi Simons says, sometimes it's hard to accept that you're human because you're in a bubble and what you want to do is everything perfect, led by example, and you want to show anyone that you're there to perform. But you have weeks where you drop down and then you go up. So it's like full-on emotions. You have to keep the balance. And then he said this, which is the key part of everything, and about understanding mentally how you can become a better person and a better player, and how being kind of settled and happy with your mind can really help you develop. Just thinking about normal stuff like normal people, that helps me well, he says. The boys are so much more than just the 90 minutes you see on the weekend, and that's something to be celebrated, in my opinion. That's one of my favourite things, like what to do, figure out who they are besides football. And that's it. It's about using these experts to establish the mental side of the game. It's such a key part. Everyone talks about mentality. Everyone talks about they need the mentality, but how do they get that, right? If they don't have it, they don't have that mentality. Why? What does that mean? How can they get it? What do they need to get it? And this is where these guys, Dr. Schneider here, know these things or are theories about these things, and they come into this club and help these players through those tough times, talk to them, have discussions with them. It's something that is not used enough at football clubs. To me, this psychological side of it, and it's so important when you have an expert in that field who knows about all the emotions you're kind of going through. And that's a huge part for me. And the third part of it is, with all these good people and all this money and all these foundations on performance, it's the facilities, right? And all their facilities are state-of-the-art. So Leipzig training ground is called the Red Bull Academy, right? It's not just a training ground, it's an academy, it's a performance centre that is specifically built to enhance performance, not just there for training. It does so much more things than that. And there's a history there, there's a picture of it, you can see there's so many pictures. The youth development centre within the academy, which is key. Again, understanding the youth side of the game and the main side of the game, how that can be different, and understanding the differences between the two, because it's key, isn't it? Getting to the youth game, into the main game, the open age game, is something that is the biggest step. So developing the athletes at a top level at this side will massively help with the expert coaches on the mental side of it as well, to get to the first team open age. It's key. Yeah. So they have a youth development centre within their training facility. And again, you can talk about there all the stuff. They have 26 cabin acting as individual day rooms for the players, residential schooling and meeting rooms, therapy room for medical, obviously, wellbeing area, saunas, whirlpools, yeah. And then there's a youth team area. You've got schools there, you've got residential classrooms, you've got all the the weight stuff, the wellbeing stuff, the physio side of it, the performance analysis, living quarters. It's about establishing not just a place to train, but actually a place where you can feel at home. So when these footballers are at work, they feel like they are at home and they are part of this. This training side of it is something I genuinely think, when we do get to Premier League, because it will cost a lot, Leeds will look to develop Thorpe Arch and make it into a performance centre that's more than just we go there to play football. Everything around it will create this kind of hub of performance. They've got one in Leipzig. They've got one in Austria with the performance center in the F1, where they do so much testing for other athletes. There's not one in this country yet. And if you got that performance center in the Premier League, you will attract so much, especially at youth level. Here are just some of the pictures of the center. Again, different sports, multi-sports facilities. Look at that. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Again, a place that people can go and relax. I've seen Thorpe Arch, and they're doing all the resistance training in like a sports hall. Like, come on, that needs improving. That side of Leeds United needs improving. That needs Thorpe Arch needs investment. The performance side of it needs to improve for me. I mean, just look at all the pictures. I think there's like 12 or 13. Yeah, you've got a stadium covered with 1,000-seat terrace, floodlights, 4 grass pitches, unsoil heating, 2 AstroTurf pitches, 1 mini training pitch, 2 speed soccer pitches, outdoor exercise area, sprinting hills. You have absolutely everything. It's a performance centre. And like I said, this is the performance centre side of it. And there's so much information here. And again, I'll let you guys pause it and go through it yourselves, which is purely based and there to develop youth players. Not just have them at an academy, but have it as a home to develop you in every way, every single way. And this is the part of it that I'm so excited about. How we have these young talents and suddenly they're better than everyone else, and suddenly then they're looking at the first team. It's so key that we have that reach and that facility to attract the best young players, especially the area we're in. We're quite close to Manchester, where the City Group have similar structure to the Red Bull one in terms of the City Group and the facilities and experts they have there. How can we attract young players from all over the world and locally, and how can we develop those local players to be elite? And this is the key part of it. These performance centres are huge. Like I said, key responsibilities. I'll let you pause it and read them. Again, like I said, look at all the roles, the people at the club. I'll let you guys pause and read. Well, the teams they have there, everything. Educational side of it as well. There's schools there, study places there, psychology departments there, personal development centres, training psychological skills, individual team support. There's so much. Like, look at this. This is all in the performance centre. It's endless. Mission statement, I'll let you guys read that. The promotion of young talent forms an important basis for the model of our club that is intended to essentially ensure long-term success. Well, I was just spoken about, but in better words, so I'll let you guys read that. And there's the vision. Mission, pause it and read if you want. Vision, and then the approach. All there. Crazy, crazy stuff. Driving force, yeah, development, all that stuff. Crazy people, honestly. So I thought I'd look into the New York Red Bull. I like what their facilities like. We've looked at Leipzig. What about New York? So they're in the process of building a brand new training facility. Again, the key part of their development, they need to bring in. I did a webinar once at university with a guy who works for Red Bull, and their issue was in America there's different rules for scouting. There's only a certain area, a catchment area that you can scout. You're not allowed to scout in other areas. So it's about having the best facilities in that area, and it took time, but New York Red Bulls have now developed and got the land here for a new development centre, which will just attract better players. And that there's what it's meant to look like. Yeah, look at all my tabs. This is all my tabs, by the way. Crazy, like it's crazy. That right there is the Salzburg facility. Again, the academy. That's what it's called. They're not training centre, they're academies. Final bit is this. Just a little bit of information of how Red Bull Academy is making footballers for the future. Red Bull Academy is a cutting-edge training facility in Salzburg, Liefering neighbourhood. We went behind closed doors football talent factory that is already showing unparalleled results. Now, look, these are all the facilities and everything they do. Guys, it's crazy. The athletics room aiming to sprint finish. They've got an entire high-tech gym, you know, like anti-gravity running track. Oh. Yeah, it's state of the art. The soccer bot 360 tracking your every move, giving so much data and information about the way you run and so many things that can prevent injuries in the future. Again, I'll let you guys pause. I'm not going to read all this. LPM indoor speedy science, whatever that is. Packing scores. It's about data packing. Yeah, again, literally doing everything about the way you dribble, the most effective way you can dribble, how every bit of data you can think of, they can get and track. Again, there's just some pictures of what the new stadium and the new Red Bull training facility is going to look like. But yeah, that's it, people. Let me know what you guys think. Look, again, I'm not defending what they've done. I'm not saying that won't happen. This is just a side of them which I really, really love and I'm really passionate about. And it's something I really want to get into far. If I ever have this established career, I want it to be in this, right? It's a goal of mine. I'd love to do it. So I'm talking about it. I'm passionate about it. I don't think anyone in Leeds is really talking about it. So, a bit of information. I want my club to be elite. You guys want your club to be elite. Our club, I want it to be elite. And this is the infrastructure we need. And best believe, the second we get to that Premier League, you'll start seeing all these plans to build these things. Right now, we'll probably bring in one or two people who can help establish that core technology, that core part. But right now, we've got to get there. Red Bull are here. They can bring a lot of expertise. Of course, it's the concern. But yeah, I just love this stuff, people, honestly. But let me know what you guys think. I appreciate your support. You're all legends.